Well, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome from the OECD in Paris. I'm Anne-Sophie Zen, and I'm very delighted to present to you today the very first results of a very exciting new survey that we are conducting on behalf of the German government, the German Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. The survey is called Your Way to Germany, and we're conducting this among skilled workers abroad that are interested in coming and working in Germany. So I'll share my screen, and here is our presentation of the results. So to start, I'd like to give you a brief overview of our survey objectives. So why are we conducting the survey? What are we hoping to get out of it? The overarching objective here really is to help the German government attract more skilled migrants to the country. This comes at a time where labor shortages are profound across various regions and in various sectors. So it's a very topical subject for the government and the country as a whole at this point. We can break down this objective in sort of three main pillars. First one being what is actually the potential for Germany's labor market stemming from skilled labor migration. So who are the people that are interested in coming and working in Germany? What are their backgrounds? What are their profiles? How old are they? Which fields are they in? Why do they want to come to Germany? And for how long do they want to stay? All these questions is something that we're hoping to answer with this survey. Second, also, and this is very important, what are the main barriers for our participants? So why does not every skilled migrant who's a potential migrant who's wanting to come and work in Germany also end up in the end in Germany working there? What are the barriers for these people, and who are the people that we are losing along the way who doesn't make it through the immigration procedure, and for what reasons? And to be able to answer this question, we have designed this survey, and this is quite a unique feature of that survey, as a panel study, so a longitudinal survey in 3 survey waves. I will present today the results of the first survey wave, which we conducted over the summer, August, September, and October, to you, but there will be a second and a third survey wave, hopefully, depending on our response rate, which will be held in February and then August, September, respectively, of next year. So the idea here really is to follow our participants all throughout this way, their immigration procedure, from the moment where they first start thinking about the idea of coming, working in Germany, all the way through the immigration procedure until they then end up in Germany, hopefully, with a job, or also until they might abandon their immigration plans. And then the third objective, and this is linked to the second one, is obviously to find out how these barriers can be overcome. So what can the German government do to actually make it even more attractive and more accessible for skilled workers abroad? And to be able to find that out, we've actually relatively spontaneously, after the first wave has been so successful, we've decided to launch a very short follow-up survey in September, whose main purpose was really to find out what conditions could we change in the legal framework that would actually make it easier for people to come, for our participants to come. So we've tested some of the reform proposals that the German government has been discussing, and really asked our participants, well, would that actually make it easier for you to come? And the results of this quick follow-up survey we will also present to you today. So a few words on our survey design. I think I've explained it already. It's a panel study. We've already conducted the first wave. We're now preparing the second one and the third one. But our population, so who are the people that we want to reach in the survey? And technically speaking, this is a large universe of people. So actually, it would be any skilled adult living abroad who is interested in coming and working in Germany. And obviously this population is large, we do not know it, and we do not have contact information of these people. So the idea was to use the website Make It in Germany, which is the German government's main portal for skilled labor migration, as sort of our main gateway to the survey. So Make It in Germany has advertised our survey and had attracted, during the period of our first survey wave, about 3.6 million users. And among these people, roughly almost 70,000 clicked on our survey to view it. This is not only viewers of the Make It in Germany website, but we've also advertised the survey through some German embassies in major origin countries and some other institutions, but the main gateway really proved to be the website Make It in Germany. Now, those 70,000 views are really just views. So this is anytime somebody's clicked on our survey to open it. The people that I'm actually presenting to you now, so our target group and our sample, measures 28,914 participants, and those are the people who really clicked through the entire survey, answered all of our questions, lived abroad at the time when they first answered our survey, and really want to come to Germany for work reasons. So not those who mainly want to come to study, and not those who want to come mainly for humanitarian reasons, but really those who are interested in pursuing a career in Germany. And now this is very important. All of these almost 30,000 people also left us their email address at the end of the survey, and thereby agreed to be contacted again for a follow-up survey. Now, the target of the sample of our follow-up survey that we conducted in September was about 40% of the initial sample. So we've contacted all those participants who left us their email address again in September and asked them to also answer 5 quick follow-up questions. And we've had a return of almost 11,000 participants, which is also quite impressive. So, up front, I'd like to give you our 3 main findings. What are the key messages for us that we take from this first survey wave? Well, the first and really important and very positive finding for us is that there really is a large potential of highly qualified professionals abroad who are very interested in working in Germany. The second finding is that in order to fully use this potential, we need to have a few things that need to be done. And the first one and most important one is really that we see a need for more effective support with job search. This is really the #1 barrier that our participants have reported to us across countries of origin, across age groups, across sectors. But I'll get more into detail on that as we go on. The third finding and message for us is about the German language. So we could see that quite a few people already speak good German, and a lot of those who don't are actually quite motivated to learn it. And so what we advocate here is that there really is a need for a greater appreciation of existing German language skills among potential migrants, and also a need to increase the support for German language learning abroad. Yeah, and now I'd like to go in detail on our findings, and I'd start with the fact that there is a huge potential. So let me show you first who are our participants. So our participants, most of them are the largest origin group is India. So about 1 in 5 participants are from India, followed then by Colombia, Turkey, the Philippines, Algeria, and Argentina. We have about 40% who are 35 years or older, and 2/3 are in the main working age group, so between 25 and 45 years of age, which is not surprising. We have predominantly male participants, about 70% are male, and regarding their family status, we see that just under half of them are single, report to be single, and among the other half, more than 80% are planning to bring their families, their partner, or children, or both, with them to Germany. And now I'd like to talk a bit about the education of our participants. And this is actually a very important and very positive finding. We were surprised to see that 3 in 4 respondents have a university degree. And among those with a university degree, we see that but 70% have a bachelor degree as their highest educational attainment. In our sample, we have also almost a quarter who have a master's or even a PhD title. And we also have a few who reported to have neither professional degree nor a university degree, but this group makes up less than 10% of our sample. And now, beyond this already high level of education to start with, we also see that there really is a great willingness to pursue even further training in Germany. And now this is a question from our follow-up survey. We asked our participants, under which conditions would you be willing to pursue further training in Germany if this was necessary to certify your skills and work in Germany? Because those who know the German immigration framework know that for many qualifications in Germany, it is important that foreign qualifications are actually recognized to a German qualification. And sometimes this does necessitate to do further training in Germany. What we found, and you see that on the dark blue bar on top, is that almost half of our participants said, yes, we would definitely be willing to do that. And among the other half, the majority would also be generally be willing to do such a training. However, they say, for this, we would need to have certain conditions fulfilled. And the most important one was that while doing this training, one should be allowed to already be employed or work in Germany. And then another important one was that this training should also provide some sort of perspective to stay permanently in Germany afterwards. We've also looked at the occupations of our, or the occupational fields of our participants. And what we could see, and this was also a very positive finding, is that quite a few, so almost half of our respondents reported to be in a professional field that is in high demand on the German labor market. So the most important professional group for us, for our survey participants, are engineers. Almost a quarter reported to be in engineering, followed by IT professions, which make up 15% of our participants. If you look a little bit at the origin countries of these in-demand occupational fields, we see, not very surprisingly, that India is overrepresented in the IT sector. So more than 1 in 3 IT professionals in our survey are from India. For the medical professions and nursing professions, it is actually Colombia. And in the skilled trades, Turkey is the most important origin country in our survey. We also see that our candidates bring quite some professional experience with them already. So more than, or almost 3 in 5 have at least 5 years of experience, and 1 in 3 actually brings over 10 years of experience with them. We now, and I'd like to talk about this a bit more lengthy, because I think this is such an important aspect and a really important finding of our survey. We could really see that there was a huge motivation among participants to come, and this was not just professionally, but also really personally. So the first question that we've asked was, tell us a little bit about the country of your dreams. What would a perfect destination country for you look like? And what we found, and this was somewhat surprising to us, is that for more than 3 in 5 participants, it is very important that the country has positive attitudes towards immigrants. We saw that only 2 other criteria are more important for our participants in an attractive destination country. One of them is the quality of the education system. And this is not just the case for people with children and those who want to bring their children with them to Germany or to the destination country more generally, but even for those who are single and those who are planning to come alone, this criteria of a good education system stays among the top 2 aspects of an attractive destination country. The other aspect is the quality of the social system in the country. And then we also asked very concretely, so why are you interested in Germany? And here 7 in 10 reported that good job opportunities and career prospects are for them a reason why they are interested in Germany. But also 2/3 associate Germany with a high quality of life. And now what is interesting is that for 4 in 5 of our respondents, Germany actually represents the #1 destination country. So they would prefer to come to Germany before going to another destination country. For those who do not put Germany first as among the top destination countries, Canada ranks as the most important one, followed by the US and the UK. But this is a minority of our participants, just about 15% did not put Germany first here. Now I'd like to have a few words on where in the procedure are our participants currently. This is obviously an important question for us too. We wanted, as I told you before, we really wanted to follow participants throughout this entire process and ideally really meet them and they just started thinking about the idea of migrating to Germany. And now what we can say is that more than half of our participants report to have actually firm plans to come to Germany. And really most of them, so 4 and 5, have already taken some sort of steps to prepare that move. So about 40% started learning German and more than half actually started looking for a job. But if you now look at the very concrete steps to come to Germany, so for example, those who already obtained a job offer or those who already filed an application, a visa application, this is a minority. So just about 8% have done both of these things. So we can summarize here that while we attracted participants who seem to have quite firm plans to come, these participants still are really at the beginning of this journey. So they've started thinking about it, but they are not yet ready to come and move. Their suitcases are not packed, so to speak, their visa is not on the table. And this is, as I said, what we were hoping to get with that first wave. And now we're very excited to be following these participants throughout their pathway and the immigration procedure and see how they manage this, where it goes smoothly and where they might require more support and help. Also a little bit about the perspective, the time horizon. So for our participants, but 3 and 5 say that they would like to stay for longer than 5 years, but at this point only about half want to migrate permanently. So about half at some point plan to go back to their origin countries. With that, I'd like to go to our second main finding, and this is the difficulties surrounding job search. As I said, job search issues and matching issues really are among the most important obstacles that have been reported to us by our participants. The most obvious question that we asked to our participant in this field was, what are the biggest barriers for you to come and work in Germany? And as you can see here with the dark blue bars on top of that chart, number 1 is no job offer, and number 2 is I don't know where to look or apply for a job. This is quite a clear finding, and it's confirmed by further questions. So we've asked, in which area would you like to receive more support? And as you can see here, also here, job search seems to be the number 1 issue where support is needed. So almost 4 and 5 would wish for more support with job search. What was surprising to us is that the issue of the recognition of foreign qualifications was not ranked that prominently here. We were quite honestly expecting to see much more problems related to that field and much more need for support, but less than half of our participants currently say that this is an area where they would need more support. We believe this is due to the fact, as I said before, that most of our participants are not yet so advanced in the procedure that they have actually started a procedure to recognize their qualifications. So what we expect is that as we go on with our study and as we administer the second and third wave, we will find this issue much more prominent, and it might be much more of an issue for our participants than in further stages of this survey. We've also asked those who said to us that for them the biggest barrier to come to Germany is to fulfill the criteria to obtain a visa. We asked that group in particular, well, could you tell us any changes on the conditions to come to Germany that would actually make it easier for you? And here also what we see is that job search again seems to be the most important barrier, because 70% of those who said that the criteria are the hardest thing for them to come to Germany, they simply don't find a way to fulfill these criteria, say that it would make it easier for them to come if they had an easier access to a job search visa. And now, as many of you may know, the German government has actually thought about this idea of introducing a job search visa. and also decided that just about 3 weeks ago. And so we've asked in our follow-up survey our participants, so would you actually take such a job search visa, provided that you're able to support yourself throughout that period of the job search visa of 12 months, we asked. And what we could see is that more than half of the participants actually said, yes, we would definitely use such a visa. And among the other half, we see that also here, the vast majority would generally be willing to apply for such a visa. However, again, certain conditions would have to be met. And first important one is, the most important one again, is to be able to work in Germany while looking for a matching job. And then a second one, and I guess this is a very important one, considering all the problems that have been reported with job search, is that they say, well, we would like to take up such a job search visa, but then when we are in Germany, we need to have effective support from the German authorities in finding a job. We've also looked a bit more closely at this group of people who say, yes, we would definitely use such a job search visa, and compare that group against the group that would not be willing to use a job search visa. And what we could see here is that the group who would definitely take a job search visa are somewhat younger, they're also somewhat less educated, and have slightly higher German language knowledge. We've also asked a particular question about whether a points-based system, as certain destination countries like Canada, for example, have, would make it easier for our participants to come to Germany. And also here we could see that just about half of the participants say, yes, a points-based system would facilitate coming to Germany for me. For the other half, this is not obvious. We have about 20% who say, well, it would not make a difference. 18% who say simply, I don't know whether it will make it easier for me. And then we have 12% who actually say, no, a points-based system would not make it easier for me to come to Germany. And now, since job search has been reported as such an important barrier, and it seems that many people would be interested in applying for a job search visa, we've asked our participants to tell us a bit about their experiences with looking for a job in Germany. And those who've already started looking for a job reported to us that actually they simply don't know where to find job offers in Germany. Many of them can't get in touch with employers because they simply don't speak German, or they also don't know which sources of information are reliable. And what was really interesting to us here is that existing support offers, such as the hotline Working and Living in Germany, which is also available via the website Make It in Germany, or also the special counseling services that the German Employment Agency is offering for skilled workers abroad, are not necessarily known among our participants. So just 8 or even 9% for the special counseling services know of these services. So a big issue here really seems to be making existing support offers better known among the target group. What was a very positive finding for us was to see that among those participants who already found a job in Germany, about a quarter report that they have found this job through the Make It in Germany website, because the Make It in Germany website has a job engine, so a job posting site integrated into it, and it does seem to be better known among our participants. With this, I'd like to move on to our third and last main message and takeaway, and this is language. And in Germany, on the German labor market, German language knowledge is really what is needed in most cases. And so what we could see is that positively, more than half of our participants do bring with them already at least some basic knowledge of German. However, if you now look at the percentage who actually speak German at a level where they can communicate on the job and in everyday life, so those who have at least an intermediate level of German, we see this is only 15%, so 1 in 7. We looked at those who do not yet have advanced German language knowledge, so those who are just beginners or who don't have any language knowledge in German at all. And we could see that among this group, about half can somewhat compensate for that because they do bring at least very good English skills with them. We also looked a little bit closely at that group of people who bring good German language skills with them. And what we could see is that they tend to have slightly higher educational attainment overall than the group who does not bring good German language skills with them. And now we asked, and this is a question again of our follow-up survey, those people who do not yet speak German at least an intermediate level, and we asked them, well, would you be willing to learn German before coming to Germany if an advanced level of German would allow you to come and work here? And so what we found is that 3 in 5 of these respondents would definitely be willing to learn German or have actually already started learning German. And then another quarter say, well, yes, we would generally be absolutely willing to learn German abroad, but some conditions would have to change, namely the course offer would have to be improved, but I'll tell you a bit more about that on the next slide. And only 17% said no, learning German before coming to Germany is not an option for me. But within that group, as you can see in the dark gray part of the pie chart, the overwhelming majority plans to learn German once they are in Germany. So for us, that was a really important finding, and for the German government, an important signal that there actually is a great motivation to learn German, and that this potential simply needs to be exploited better by notably improving options abroad to learn German. So those participants who said that they would be willing to learn German, but certain conditions would have to be improved. The main barrier here seems to be the costs of German courses abroad, German courses and German exams as well. And then the next argument that was mentioned was that there simply are not enough German courses available at the moment. So here again, an important message to the German government that here we need some improved support. So with that, I'd like to conclude and once again say that Germany really can tap into a large pool of highly motivated and qualified workers abroad. We have to, or the German government needs to work harder to really exploit this potential. And above all, what is needed here is effective support with job search. We could see that the introduction of a job search visa might be a very good step to really get a lot of people on board. However, even that, if it's not linked to effective support with the job search in Germany, it might not be effective. And then the third takeaway, again, is there really is a need to greater appreciate the existing German language skills that many of our participants already bring with them. And for those who do not yet bring them, there's a need to make more widely available options to learn German abroad and make those options more affordable to everyone. Yeah, now I'd like to stop this presentation with a huge thank you to the 30,000 participants from across the world who have really taken the time to give us their views, tell us about their plans and experiences with the German immigration system. Your views are incredibly helpful. They will now really help the German government to fine-tune these new legal provisions, make sure that the programs that are in place, that will be in place, really do cater to your needs. And a big request to you all, please do stay on board with us for the next survey waves, notably in February, March, and then another one in August, September. Even if some of you may not pursue your plans to come to Germany further, which we do not hope, but even in that case, your views will be extremely valuable to us to find out why you might have abandoned your plans. We can learn from that, and Germany can learn from that, and find out how for future generations of skilled workers, we can make it easier and more attractive to come to Germany. So thank you very much for your attention.